Hello BookTube and welcome to my December book haul. Ordinarily I do this next week, closer to the end of the month, but I'm not seeing me getting any more books in the following week, and I'm planning on massively reorganizing my books next week, so might as well go and get the book haul done today. So let's get started. So in the vanguard of my December book haul, and I had intended to be sort of the first book in a theme for this month, is Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi, shortlisted for the 2020 Booker Prize. Sentimental favorite, I think, on BookTube, or at least the corner of BookTube I frequent, and it's about a toxic relationship between a mother and daughter. And I've been circling this book for quite some time. And I decided in December to go ahead and finally bite the bullet and pick it up. And I'd intended for this book to be the first in what would be a very heavy literary fiction haul. That did not turn out to be the case, as we shall see in the subsequent books I have to show you. But I am looking forward to reading Burnt Sugar, and if no other reason, I love this color. This color is amazing in person. So, my original plan was obviously to pick up a lot of literary fiction, and that didn't happen. And that started with my pre-orders. So the pre-order that I've been talking about quite a bit over the past few months is The Blade Between by Sam J. Muller. Despite my rocky reread of Blackfish City, this book does sound interesting. It's about a gay photographer who returns to his hometown to take care of his ailing father after swearing never to come back, who reconnects with his high school boyfriend while leading a campaign with his ex-boyfriend's wife to fight the gentrification of the town, all the while waking up some evil spirit or entity. Sounds very fascinating, and I'm looking forward to getting to it. So hopefully this book won't have as much issues as I had with Blackfish City. But I'm looking forward to reading it. So originally I was planning on picking up In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson. But I noticed another book coming out December 1st. And it's a book I had to have. And it sort of altered, in a way, my December plans. And that book is Ambergris by Jeff Vandermeer. This is a collection of the Ambergris novels, including City of Saints and Madmen, Streak, and Afterward, and Finch. And so these novels came out in the mid-2000s, and I think cemented Vandermeer's place as one of the vanguard of the new weird. And I'm quite happy to have it and look forward to reading it. To continue with the science fiction and fantasy, and the book I had intended to round out November's book haul is Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu, the winner of the National Book Award. Anyway, so about a week after the paperback came out, Book People had a 10% off sale, and I jumped on it because they very rarely have sales. So I decided to order Interior Chinatown, and it just so happened that a few hours after I ordered Interior Chinatown, it won the National Book Award. So by the time the the people at Book People who fulfill online orders, when to come fulfill my order, this book was out of stock. And obviously, there was probably a very short initial print run because obviously it was up for the National Book Award, so that edition would have had it as a finalist for the National Book Award, and so they had to reprint it, like a second printing, to show that it actually won the National Book Award. So it took about 2 or 3 weeks to finally get to me. Quite happy to have it, though. Yeah. And no hard feelings about that. And of course, Powells, the storied independent bookstore in Portland, had a 20% off sale. So I had to jump on it, and I picked up The Bone-Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is about the daughter of a Dark Lord type magician who uses bones from the ear to enact his magic, and she can't remember who she is. And I've seen it highly recommended on Reagan of Peruse Project's channel. She gushed over it, so I'm like, you might want to check it out. So decided to buy it and check it out. Now, ordinarily one would think, okay, there's a lot more science fiction and fantasy coming. And I had kind of sort of thought about doing that too, like another big science fiction and fantasy heavy haul. But I gradually decided, no, maybe I ought to go in a different direction. So, with some early Christmas money, I decided to pick up Republic of Wrath by James A. Morone. This is a history of the United States when Americans are most polarized and most at each other's throats politically. And I've wanted this book ever since I first learned about it, and I cannot wait to read it. Next up is another book I really, really wanted, The Habsburgs, To Rule the World by Martyn Rady. Obviously, this is a Habsburg of the history of the Habsburg monarchy, and I'm quite looking forward to reading it. And I'm thinking a behind the theme for 2021 might be me tracking down books on monarchy. And I'm kind of getting really, really interested in monarchy. So, I basically, in November, discovered that I can save books or items in my cart into a save later space. And so I've been doing that. And one of the books I added to that list, it'll show you if there's like how many copies are left, if Amazon's running low. And this book was running perilously low, and I wanted to jump on it before it went out of stock and became difficult to pick up. And that is Greece, Biography of a Modern Nation by Roderick Beaton. This was up for the Kundo Prize. I think it was like longlisted, or the equivalent of the long list, before being dropped in for the short list. But this book sounded really interesting and cannot wait to look at it. The final history book for December that I picked up, and a book I've wanted for ages, and kicking myself that I didn't pick it up earlier, and a bit of simpatico with Shashi Tharoor's Inglorious Empire, because I think I'd ordered this before I started it and really loved Inglorious Empire, is The Anarchy, The Relentless Rise of the East India Company by William Dalrymple. Cannot wait to get to it. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what could round out a book haul if the history books aren't rounding it out? Well, cookbooks. The find of the month. So earlier this month, I was in a bit of a funk, bit depressed, and so I resolved to start clearing out the books that have accumulated in my Amazon and Libris wish lists. And while I was doing that, or really should have been doing that, I haven't made much progress, to be honest with you. I routinely I check the books that I really want, but are to date maybe a little too expensive for me to buy at that moment. So I was looking, and I was checking out one of those books, and it was the cheapest I'd seen it in a while. Still not inexpensive, but I mean considerably less expensive than some of the copies I've seen. So I jumped on it. At the time, Libris also had a sale on, and to make up the sale price, I decided to go ahead and pick up another book I really wanted from the same seller. Although that said, it's not like the sale really did all that much, because the added shipping and handling was kind of wiped out that any sort of accrued benefit. Anyway, but the side book I picked up was, and also a cookbook, Martha Stewart's Baking Bible. I love this book. I've wanted it. I checked it out a few years ago and thought it was amazing, and quite happy to have a copy of my own. And speaking of which, as I mentioned in part 7 of my library tour, or the science fiction side of it, I have been baking cookies today. Made some sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies, and both of them turned out quite well. Now, for the find of the month, the book that I am absolutely ecstatic to have back in my collection is The Glorious Foods of Greece by Diane Kochilas, or Kochilas. I had this book, nearly 20 years ago. Well, 17-ish. Maybe 16-ish. So when I was in college and living on my own, I was a member of several book clubs. The Science Fiction Book Club, the History Book Club, a Gay Book Club, and a Cooking Book Club. And this was one of the first books I picked up. And I loved it. One of my favorite cookbooks. And I got rid of it largely because I came back home after college and I didn't really do much cooking, and my family aren't the most adventurous of eaters. So I kind of traded it in at Golden's Book Exchange, but I've really wanted a copy ever since, and yay, I have it back and I'm so happy. Cannot wait to cook from this book. So happy. Anyway, BookTube, that was my December book haul. Let's see if I can do a Steve pyramid. I think it will work. You too? Okay, so I'm thinking so here we go, BookTube. Yay. Okay. Oh, that's a workout in itself. Okay, BookTube, so I'm going to sign off for now. So January's book haul might be another big one. I don't know for sure. It depends if I get any books or any like gift cards or anything for Christmas. So we'll see. And with January's book haul, how it's going to look. Anyway, BookTube, I'm going to sign off now because I need to get the videos uploaded, these books logged into my catalog and put up, and then I need to go start on some potato salad. So anyway, BookTube, thank you. Have a great afternoon. Hope you've had a wonderful Christmas Eve, and I will see you tomorrow with probably an early library tour and then weekly reads at its regularly scheduled time. So until then, BookTube, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.